The battle in the Pokrovskoye sector once again demonstrated the technological and strategic dominance of the Ukrainian military. Soldiers of the 32nd UMBRELLA Motorized Rifle Brigade successfully executed what they called the "one drone on the front for every Russian soldier" program. The concept is simple yet highly effective. Any enemy attempt to approach or defend the front line is immediately met with the deadly threat of FPV drones. With their high speed and pinpoint accuracy, these drones are a weapon that can cause panic and inflict heavy losses on the invading forces. In newly released footage from the battle site, at least 2 Russian soldiers were neutralized in a matter of seconds. The first attack shows an FPV drone flying low, penetrating enemy defenses and striking its target. Moments later, a second attack follows a similar pattern, confirming that this aerial strategy is not just a casual tactic, but part of a systematic operation carried out by the UMBRELLA unit. This success confirms that the 32nd Brigade continues to adapt to the dynamics of the modern battlefield. They are not relying solely on conventional ground combat, but are also integrating unmanned technology as a core element of their offensive strategy. A brigade officer explained that the slogan, "Every invader will have a drone in his face," is not just rhetoric, but a promise being realized every day on the front lines. For Russian troops, the presence of these drones means a constant threat. Nowhere is safe, whether in trenches, defense posts, or while moving in open fields. The fighters emphasize that every step of the Russian invasion will be costly. "Every invader will have a drone in his face" is the slogan now echoing within the 32nd Brigade units. This operation also reflects Ukraine's new philosophy of warfare, minimizing risk to their own soldiers while maximizing losses to the enemy. By utilizing FPV technology, UMBRELLA troops are able to demoralize their opponents while maintaining their combat effectiveness, and the results of Pokrovskoye are only a small part of a broader campaign. However, success in this sector demonstrates how Ukraine continues to dominate the battlefield through a combination of creativity, discipline, and the use of modern technology. All this time, Ukrainian forces are using active defense tactics, armored counters, and thermal drone coverage to keep the front fluid and prevent Russian forces from consolidating gains. As road conditions worsen heading into autumn, Russia's window for launching a full-scale assault is narrowing. Reports from both Russian and Ukrainian sources acknowledge that Russian forces will struggle to stop further Ukrainian advances. What was once envisioned as a bold push into Sumy has ended in defeat, leaving Ukraine in control of the battlefield initiative and Russia scrambling to contain the damage. Overall, Ukraine's counterattack in western Donetsk demonstrates how limited offensive action, when based on precise reconnaissance and strong tactical planning, can yield meaningful battlefield shifts without requiring a large-scale breakthrough. By exploiting weaknesses in Russian training, unit cohesion, and drone denial capabilities, Ukrainian forces have retaken key positions and are now positioned to continue pressuring the front southward, potentially aiming for the Mokry River as a more defensible forward line to undo more months of Russian progress. Pokrovsk city represents a key Ukrainian forces transportation hub in Donbass, the loss of which could open the way for Russian troops to attack the remaining Ukrainian-held cities in the Donetsk region. While peace talks drag on, Russian President Vladimir Putin is preparing a new offensive in eastern Ukraine, with European and Ukrainian officials warning that a breakthrough could come near Pokrovsk, a city Moscow has failed to capture for over a year. Last week, German and French officials discussed the buildup of Russian forces near the city. People familiar with the talks told Bloomberg. On Friday, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said Russia had deployed 100,000 troops to the area, while Pokrovsk is a key transport hub for Ukrainian forces in Donbass. Its fall could open the way for Russian troops to attack the final major Ukrainian-held cities in the Donetsk region, Sloviansk and Kramatorsk. The industrial eastern Ukrainian city has been the main declared objective for a bloody Russian offensive launched more than a year ago. The Russian thrust towards Dobropilya was on a narrow front, and, if consolidated, would make it even more difficult for Ukrainian forces to supply the Pokrovsk salient, reports said. Russian forces reached within 8 to 10 kilometers of Pokrovsk in August and September 2024, but were unable to capture it, and have attempted to encircle the city this year. In mid-August, Russian troops briefly broke through north of Pokrovsk, advancing about 10 kilometers, 6.25 miles, near Dobropilya, before Ukrainian units pushed them back. The summer offensive resulted in minimal gains, with Moscow capturing just 2,033 square kilometers, 785 square miles, or 0.3% of Ukraine's territory. Speaking in Beijing on Wednesday after viewing a military parade with Chinese leader Xi Jinping and North Korea's Kim Jong-un, Putin said he would continue fighting if a peace deal cannot be reached. Meanwhile, Xi Jinping praised Russian forces' advances, claiming they were making progress on all fronts and had weakened Ukraine's military. If there was no peace deal, he said, then we will have to resolve all our tasks militarily. Zelensky, who arrived in Paris the same day for talks with European allies, said he has seen no signs that Moscow is serious about ending the war. With no signs of a Russian withdrawal, Ukraine and its allies are working to strengthen Kyiv's army. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz called the effort the most important security guarantee we can provide, while European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said Ukraine must become a steel porcupine that is indigestible for potential invaders. European countries are funding purchases of U.S. weapons, with Zelensky hoping for $1 billion in monthly acquisitions. Last week, the U.S. approved the sale of 3,350 missiles, with ranges up to 450 kilometers, 280 miles, worth $825 million.